show you how to knock out a light. I'm the second one of the impacts, the third of the strength. I'm a classical twist combo till my ruffian hits. My booms throw you in the corner with the back of my kicks. And I'm back with a vengeance. Let me split a dimension, thrashing you with a hurricane, smashing your senses. I'm the new era and age. I'm back in the game.
So I've been enjoying some time with Blank over there. That's my favorite character. I'm probably a noob, but I just like the electricity stuff, and really been enjoying the 3D edition here. Could you tell us a little bit about what went into the design to try and make it perhaps a little bit more accessible to someone who's playing it on a handheld?
Yeah, so the handheld stuff, of course, you know, the first and foremost, we tried to let the 3D pop itself, but then you're right, the handheld presents some interesting challenges. So you've got the shoulder buttons in all four faces. You've also got the circle pad or the analog control plus the D-pad. But what really sort of set us free is the touch panel down at the bottom. So we have two options there, what's called light and pro controls. So in light mode, you can actually assign any of your character's special moves to one of four panels down there. So this can be anything from a regular special move to a super move to even an ultra combo. And no matter how complicated the motion, if it's 720-degree spin and all three punches, one button. So that's refreshing for me. Even crusty pros that like to do it the hard way, like me, it's still really nice to sink into that. So people that have not played a Trish or haven't played a Street Fighter in a long time, or felt like Street Fighter's been a little bit too complicated for them to be competitive or have fun with their friends, give the light pad controls a try. You'll have a lot of fun. And even in pro mode, you can still use the touchpad. You just can't assign special moves to it. You can assign button macros. So if you want to map all three of your punches to one touchpad, you can still do that even in the pro mode.
So how do you find the D-pad is for a fighting game on the 3DS?
Well, one thing, I'm a tough audience because I play on the joysticks usually. That is my preferred way. But when I'm playing a pad, I like the D-pad usually. I feel like I get a little more clear response. Like I know exactly when I'm in the corners and things like that. So the D-pad's been great. But because the D-pad and the circle pad are both live, while you're playing, you can switch to either one. I actually do notice that I almost unconsciously switch. Like, so when I'm playing Zangief and want to do a pile driver, I'll slide right up to the circle pad, and it's easy to roll that around really easily. Even Guile Super, for whatever reason, like I find much easier to do on the circle pad. So it's really whatever works for you, and in some cases, I need both. So
it's like there's not a lot of time where a fighting game is like the high-profile launch title for a handheld. But I really do feel like Street Fighter is probably at least among the top three most anticipated titles for launch for the 3DS. And what do you feel about the sort of the handheld audience in terms of a game like this?
Well, thank you. I think we've all been proud of the work that's gone into the game so far. But I think there's been there's two audiences. That Nintendo audience hasn't had a Street Fighter game in a long time, and I think handhelds has usually meant some sort of apology or some sort of, you know, you gotta make sacrifices to get it on a handheld, and this new handheld technology is so powerful that we were able to get really the full gameplay experience onto the 3DS. So then it just became a matter of finding a way to get the controls really popping. So I think there's going to be people that are hungry not only for a Street Fighter on a Nintendo system, but to have really the full experience that they remember from a console now to carry it around with you. And again, new players that haven't had a chance to really, you know, that have struggled with the moves or felt that they were too complicated or something like that. Because of the touch panel, it's a whole different day, and you can finally play Street Fighter and have fun with your friends again.
Something that I found when I saw the character select screen is just like on such a small screen with that many characters, you can even barely make them out. Like you cram as many characters as you can possibly get into this game.
We really didn't want to cut anything to bring it onto the 3DS, so we knew that would be sort of the bar we were judged against, so we really strove not only to deliver on all those gameplay elements, the characters, the costumes, the stages, even the bonus stages. We wanted that all in there, but then also to add some additional features specifically for the 3DS. So we've got stuff like the StreetPass with some figurine collectible minigame. It's not quite a Magic the Gathering, but you know, you have some statistics in there that you can match them up, and even when the console's off, you can fight against people just as you walk past. And we're also proud to be the only game that's going to be launching with global online, so you can fight anybody. It's perfect for a fighting game, right? So you can fight anybody from around the world. And that's another thing that hasn't really been possible before, I think, on a handheld in the way that people really want it to be. So a fighting game is at its best when you're playing other people. Online really makes all that possible, and now this console finally has really great online to really support the fighting game, and I think that's why you're seeing so many of them.
You mentioned the Street Pass there. Have you had any experiences with that yourself, or that you could,
Well,
about?
yeah, they're not out on the street very much, except in Tokyo. So I've only ever had to pass. We've only had fake street passes, like where I mean we do it, when we're sitting around, we'll pass by and it totally works. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to having it at like a big fan expo or something like that. So we'll be at maybe a Penny Arcade and we'll be walking around and I'll open it up and have had hundreds of Street Pass battles. Really looking forward to that. But right now, it's usually just a friend of mine because the 3DS, we're still waiting for the launch.
It's happening in Tokyo though right now.
I think it is, yeah. So I got to get back over there. It's been a couple months for me, so I need to get back over to Tokyo and take my licks automatically.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, Seth.
My pleasure.